I'll just tell you what I know about how I look and why I look that way.
Well, I do wear wigs all the time because it's so handy and I'm always so busy.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoy wearing the wigs.
I think if you want to be truly yourself, you cannot really care what people say about you. You have just to be yourself.
They were some of the most beautiful faces in Hollywood. But behind closed doors, they were desperate to stay young. Now, their secrets are finally exposed. Illegal injections made from car parts, 10 surgeries in a single day, and doctors who vanished after destroying their patients' faces. Today, we're revealing how these stars risked everything for beauty and lost more than they ever imagined. Priscilla Presley. Priscilla Presley grew up admired for her beauty and elegance, especially during her time as Elvis Presley's wife. But her story took a complicated turn when she decided to explore cosmetic surgery. In her mid-30s, she started small with Botox and fillers, which enhanced her natural features. People admired how these changes made her look even more striking. But in 2003, everything changed. She became a victim of an unlicensed cosmetic surgeon, Dr. Daniel Serrano, who claimed he had a revolutionary treatment. What he used wasn't safe. It was industrial silicone, the same material used for car parts. The results were devastating. Her face developed lumps, parts of it became paralyzed, and holes appeared. She no longer looked like the stunning woman who had once charmed Elvis. Dr. Serrano wasn't just harming her. Other high-profile clients, like Diane Ritchie, were also affected. He was arrested in 2004, spent 18 months in prison, and was later sent back to Argentina. Fixing the damage wasn't easy. Over the years, she underwent multiple corrective surgeries, spending close to $1 million to repair what was done. It wasn't just about her appearance, it was about reclaiming a part of herself. In 2008, her spokesperson confirmed she was one of many victims of Dr. Serrano's malpractice. Despite everything, she stayed in the public eye. At 77, she attended the premiere of the Elvis biopic. While she looked youthful, people noticed how different she appeared. Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag's story is another example of the impact of cosmetic surgery. When she gained fame on MTV's The Hills, her appearance already turned heads. But at just 23, she made a drastic decision. In a single day, she underwent 10 surgeries. The list was long. She had her nose redone, fat added to her cheeks and lips, her chin reduced, her ears pinned back, and liposuction in multiple areas. She also had her breasts enhanced even further, and her buttocks augmented. These surgeries were done by Dr. Frank Ryan, a well-known surgeon who tragically died in a car accident less than a year later. The experience was brutal. Heidi said it felt like being hit by a truck. She needed constant care during her recovery, and the emotional toll was even worse. At one point, her heart stopped briefly, and she was put on suicide watch. The transformation cost her $30,000, and magazines like People splashed her story across their covers, calling her addicted to plastic surgery. Her new look brought criticism from fans, media, and even her own family. Her mother couldn't hide her horror at how different Heidi had become. Over time, Heidi admitted she regretted her choices. She had more surgeries to reduce her breast size, saying they caused her pain and health problems. She later shared that she had been too young to make such big decisions and had felt pressured by online hate and the beauty standards of Hollywood. Janice Dickinson. Janice Dickinson was once known as the world's first supermodel, famous for her sharp features and bold personality in the 1970s and 1980s. Behind her glamorous life, her appearance changed dramatically over the years, mostly because of plastic surgery. Her journey with cosmetic procedures started when she was only 32, during a brief and chaotic relationship with Sylvester Stallone. She noticed early signs of aging, like jowls forming on her jawline, which pushed her to have her first surgery. Over the years, she went through many procedures. She admitted to having a facelift, a brow lift, Botox, fillers, and a tummy tuck. One of her most talked about surgeries was her breast augmentation, which she got at 32. This became a major focus later on the TV show Botched in 2014, where she shocked everyone by removing her own surgical drains just days after a corrective surgery. This caused complications and more medical treatment. It highlighted how risky these procedures can be when not handled carefully. Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer has always been known for her humor and honesty, but her story about liposuction revealed a more vulnerable side. After facing serious health issues during her pregnancy, she decided to make a change. She suffered from severe nausea and vomiting during her pregnancy, a condition that required multiple hospital visits. After giving birth to her son, she dealt with more problems and, at 40, had to undergo surgery to remove her uterus and appendix due to endometriosis. After everything, she decided to get liposuction, calling it the laziest thing she had ever done. But what surprised her most wasn't the surgery itself. During an acupuncture session, her therapist noticed a hump on her neck, a condition called hyperkyphosis. This new discovery unsettled her. She had hoped the surgery would boost her confidence, but it brought unexpected insecurities. Her story shows how complicated body image can be, even after making changes. What made her story stand out was her openness. She didn't try to hide her struggles and explained that her decision wasn't about looking perfect, but about wanting to feel better. Tori Spelling. Tori Spelling became famous in the 1990s for her role as Donna Martin in Beverly Hills 90210. Her journey is about much more than acting. It's about how she changed her appearance over the years and the pressures she faced in Hollywood. When she was just 17, she had her first rhinoplasty. Her mother, Candy Spelling, suggested it to improve how she looked on screen. This happened right before she started filming the show, preparing her for a life in the spotlight.
I haven't talked about it. This is like the first time I've talked about it in a while, so it's hard.
At 19, she made another big decision and had breast augmentation. The surgery, done in 1993 at a strip mall, increased her size from a B cup to a D cup. This step was risky and showed the extreme pressures young actresses faced. Later, she expressed regret, especially after realizing it might have affected her ability to breastfeed. She admitted, "If I had known it could impact milk production, I never would have done it." Years later, she opened up about her nose surgery. In 2023, she shared an old photo from before the procedure, reflecting on the pressure she felt to change her appearance. This honest moment led to bigger conversations about how Hollywood shapes beauty standards and how fame impacts mental health. That same year, she decided to reverse some of her past surgeries. At 49, she had breast and butt reduction surgery and dissolved her facial fillers. This marked a turning point for her, choosing a more natural look and moving away from the ideals she once followed. Ariel Winter. Ariel Winter, best known as Alex Dunphy on Modern Family,
10 and 11 years old, and we were running around with Nerf guns and being crazy and not really doing anything adult-like. And now that we're all, semi-adults.
also has a story filled with struggles and change. By the time she was 17, she had already faced years of physical and emotional pain because of her rapid breast development. She experienced severe back pain and posture problems, which made life harder. Being on a hit TV show brought even more attention to her body. Online bullying made things worse, with people leaving cruel comments like, "Stuff her bra," and "She's a fat slut." This was overwhelming, And in 2015, she decided to have breast reduction surgery, going from a 32F to a 34D. She was one of the youngest celebrities to talk openly about this type of surgery.
So for me, I was kind of expecting, I went in there and I was doing Smurf Lily in a much higher register, playing her a lot younger.
Making her decision groundbreaking. Her transformation wasn't just physical. She became a strong advocate for body positivity and mental health. In 2019, she revealed she had been in therapy for 6 years and had recently changed antidepressants, which led to weight loss. Talking about this openly helped break the stigma around mental health and inspired others to seek help. Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is a legend in country music and a well-known figure when it comes to cosmetic surgery.
Well, it is not every day that a music legend like Dolly Parton shows up in town, but yesterday she graced the stage of the historic Lyric Theater in Lexington.
Her approach to surgery has always been refreshing. She once joked, "If something is bagging, sagging, or dragging, I'll tuck it, suck it, or pluck it." Her most famous surgery has always been her breast augmentation, and while she hasn't shared the exact size, rumors suggest a 40DD. Over the years, she's had multiple procedures to keep her iconic look. She has also had a facelift, eyelid surgery, and Botox treatments. She has always been careful with her approach, saying she prefers to make small changes over time rather than big, noticeable overhauls. This has helped her maintain a natural but enhanced appearance. Her openness about surgery has changed how people see it.
Now, I can't tell you how much that meant to me because I created the Imagination Library as a tribute to my daddy.
Instead of keeping it secret, she's always been upfront, helping to reduce the stigma around cosmetic enhancements. Even in her late 70s, she continues to inspire people with her talent and her ability to reinvent herself, proving that beauty and confidence can thrive at any age. Donatella Versace. Donatella Versace grew up with sharp features, natural beauty, and a striking presence. She had charisma and confidence, which helped her shine in the fashion world. Everything changed in 1997 when her brother, Gianni Versace, was tragically murdered. She became the creative director of the Versace brand and carried the weight of his legacy. Her early success in the fashion industry was tied to her elegant appearance and magnetic personality, which made her a standout figure. Around 2002, small changes in her appearance started to draw attention. Her nose looked slightly altered, likely due to rhinoplasty. By the time she reached her late 40s, her lips had become noticeably fuller, probably from fillers. These changes marked the start of a series of cosmetic procedures. Over the next decade, her transformation became more dramatic. By 2014, at a major fashion event, her skin looked unnaturally tight and shiny, giving her a plastic-like appearance. Experts believed she had undergone a facelift, cheek implants, and heavy use of Botox. Her look shocked many people and left her almost unrecognizable to fans. A few years later, during Milan Fashion Week in 2018,
it was too painful to think about it before. 20 years went by and I was ready.
her drastically altered appearance made headlines again. Her cheeks appeared overly filled, her lips looked disproportionate, and her skin was unnaturally smooth for someone in their 60s. Donatella has never directly admitted to undergoing these procedures, but in an interview, she once hinted that her appearance wasn't entirely natural. Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox became a household name through her role as Monica Geller in Friends. Her bright blue eyes, dark hair, and warm smile made her a favorite among fans. In her 40s, she began making small changes to maintain her youthful look. She admitted to trying Botox, saying she used it in moderation.
I didn't even know how big of a deal it was until I got there, and this one reporter said to me, "How does it feel that you have a star And to think that Coco's kids will just have it forever and walk on it. And
Over time, her appearance changed more noticeably, especially during her years on the show Cougar Town. By the time she was 50, her cheeks looked fuller, her forehead was very smooth, and her lips appeared larger. Fans and the media speculated that she had used fillers and possibly had surgical procedures. Her transformation became a topic of debate. In a bold move, she later decided to undo the changes. By 2017, she had all her fillers dissolved, saying it was important to feel like herself again. She talked openly about the pressures of looking young and how those pressures had influenced her choices. Reflecting on this, she shared how chasing youth had made her look unnatural, something she deeply regretted. Her honesty about her struggles and her decision to embrace a more natural look resonated with many. Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks grew up in Inglewood, California, and became one of the most famous supermodels of the 1990s and 2000s. She broke barriers in the fashion world, becoming the first Black American woman to appear on the covers of GQ and the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. But behind her glamorous image, she carried a personal story that shaped how she saw beauty and plastic surgery. When she was only 3, she had a terrible fall in her family's driveway. The injury damaged her nose and caused breathing problems that lasted for years. By the time she started modeling as a teenager, this injury wasn't just a health issue. It also threatened her chances in an industry that demanded physical perfection. To fix this, she had nose surgery early in her career, not just to change how she looked, but to help her breathe better.
These are your future clients, and these are the careers over here that you're going to emulate, but make it yours.
This experience made her believe in being open about beauty choices. Years later, she shocked people by saying, "Plastic surgery is absolutely fantastic." She didn't hide her own experience and criticized others in the modeling world who judged it. She believed it was unfair to shame people for wanting to improve themselves, especially in an industry where looks mattered so much. Tyra even said models who looked perfect naturally shouldn't act like plastic surgery was wrong because they were lucky enough to have won the genetic lottery. Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan became a household name as a child actress with her unforgettable roles in The Parent Trap and Mean Girls. Her talent and charm made her a star, but her life took a dramatic turn as she grew older.
This is an opportunity for me, and I really hope people please just leave me alone and just give me positive affirmations from this. But this is a time for me to just show people the past is the past, and we're only moving forward.
Along with personal struggles, her changing appearance over the years has been a constant topic of speculation. In her early 20s, people started noticing subtle changes in how she looked. By 2006, rumors began swirling about whether she had rhinoplasty or lip fillers. Lindsay always denied these claims, but her appearance kept changing, especially during her most challenging years between 2009 and 2012. During this time, her face looked noticeably different, with fuller cheeks, a sharper jawline, and highly arched eyebrows. Experts guessed she might have had cheek implants, jaw reshaping, or even used dermal fillers. One of the most talked about moments happened in 2011 when she attended a red carpet event. Her face looked puffy and unnatural, sparking concern and criticism. By the next year, when she appeared in court for a probation hearing, her appearance had changed again, even prompting the judge to comment on how much better she looked compared to her previous court visit.
When I dressed as this character and when we flipped, it was very different for me because I wasn't like that at all.
This fueled more rumors, with some experts suggesting she might have had procedures like a facelift, lip enhancement, or cheek augmentation. Despite all the talk, Lindsay has always denied undergoing major plastic surgery, In an interview, she explained that her changing looks came from natural aging and lifestyle shifts. She said it was important to love yourself and feel comfortable in your own skin. Kaley Cuoco.
We were traveling to Australia, and Carl, for some reason, my boyfriend, ends up getting the pat down every time we go through security.
Kaley Cuoco grew up in Camarillo, California, and her journey to stardom started early. She worked in commercials and small TV roles as a kid, dreaming of making it big. Her first major role came in 2002 when she was cast as Bridget Hennessy in 8 Simple Rules. This show gave her recognition, but she would later become a household name playing Penny in The Big Bang Theory. As her career grew, Cuoco didn't shy away from talking about her personal decisions. She surprised everyone when she admitted she had plastic surgery. She talked openly about having her nose done and getting breast augmentation.
And I said to McKeel, I was like, have you ever done a sex scene? He goes, I was on Game of Thrones.
She once said that her breast surgery, done when she was 18, was the best decision she ever made because it gave her confidence. She also shared in another interview that she got fillers for a line on her neck that had bothered her since she was a child. This honesty about her cosmetic procedures made her stand out in Hollywood, where many people hide such things. Bella Hadid.
You know, now it's diamonds and jewelry, my favorite, so I'm so excited, and it was a beautiful day that we shot in Rome, and I'm so thankful. It's awesome.
Bella Hadid had a different story. She grew up loving horses and dreamed of competing in the Olympics. She even participated in national equestrian competitions. But her dreams changed when Lyme disease forced her to stop riding. She then stepped into modeling and quickly became one of the most recognizable faces in fashion. Bella's appearance has been a topic of debate for years. In 2022, she revealed that she had a nose job when she was only 14. She said she regretted it, wishing she had kept the nose of her ancestors. This admission shocked many people, especially because it showed how early the pressure to fit certain beauty standards began for her.
I look very sexual and all these things. I was still nervous about cameras and nervous about having a lot of makeup on and nervous about this slit was like...
Her old photos from high school show a rounder, softer face, very different from how she looks now. Even though she denies having more surgeries, experts and fans have speculated that other changes might have happened over the years. Despite all the speculation, Bella insists she hasn't done anything beyond her nose job. She has said she's too scared of fillers and doesn't want to risk changing her face too much. Her mother, Yolanda Hadid, also supported her by saying none of her children have used fillers or Botox. However, some experts think her sharp features and defined cheeks might be the result of procedures like buccal fat removal or other subtle enhancements. Cher grew up in El Centro, California, and became famous in the 1960s and 1970s as part of Sonny and Cher. People loved her bold style and her deep, unique voice.
I couldn't see myself in a Christmas album, and so I just said to the record company, if you just leave me alone.
Later, she became a Hollywood star, winning an Oscar for her role in Moonstruck during the 1980s. But around this time, her physical transformation started to get attention. After watching herself in movies, she decided to try cosmetic surgery. She was open about it, admitting to having a nose job, a facelift, and breast augmentation. She even joked about it, saying, "Yes, I had a facelift, but who hasn't?" Not all of her surgeries went well. When she had breast augmentation in the early 1980s, the results were so bad she called it a nightmare. The surgery left her feeling worse than before. Then, in 1988, rumors spread that she had ribs removed to make her waist smaller.
It's just to have a happy thing. Chuck Berry and Stevie sings on the album with me. He sings on the song.
A magazine printed the story, but Cher denied it strongly. She swore on her children's lives that it wasn't true and pointed out she had no scars, which would be obvious in her daring outfits. By the 1990s and 2000s, many people saw her as a symbol of plastic surgery in Hollywood. Some thought she'd had every procedure possible, but Cher said they were exaggerating.
In this era, I could hardly take a bad picture, and all my clothes were fabulous and I loved them.
She admitted to a few things, but said most of the rumors were false. Her looks kept people talking, but it didn't stop her career. Cher has always been unapologetic, saying, "It makes me happy. If I want to put my tits on my back, they're mine." Joselyn Wildenstein. Joselyn Wildenstein, who grew up in Lausanne, Switzerland, lived a very different kind of life.
Joselyn Wildenstein, best known as Catwoman, has died.
She became famous for her striking appearance, but before that, she was known for her beauty. Her life changed completely when she married Alec Wildenstein, a billionaire art dealer and racehorse owner. Their lifestyle was unbelievably lavish. Joselyn once said they spent around $1 million every month. Her first surgery happened during the early years of her marriage. She and Alec both had facelifts, starting what would become a long journey of transformations. Over the years, she kept getting more procedures. People said she was inspired by Alec's love of big cats, as they owned a ranch in Kenya with lions and other exotic animals. Joselyn wanted to look like a lynx, even keeping one as a pet. Her surgeries included facelifts, eye lifts, cheek implants, and lip augmentations. Her face changed so much that she became known as Catwoman. Her marriage fell apart in 1997 when she found Alec with a much younger model. Their divorce became one of the most expensive in history. Joselyn received $2.5 billion and $100 million a year for 13 years. But there was one unusual condition. She wasn't allowed to use the money for more surgeries. Even with all that wealth, Joselyn eventually ran into financial trouble. By 2018, she declared bankruptcy and said she had no savings left. Patricia Heaton. Patricia Heaton grew up in Bay Village, Ohio, and eventually became one of television's most beloved actresses. She played Deborah Barone in Everybody Loves Raymond and Frankie Heck in The Middle.
It's because we're creating, and I mean, God is a creator, you know, and you read the whole first chapter of Genesis. He made the earth and the stars and the spaces, and he made man, and he blew life into.
Winning hearts with her humor and her ability to portray the struggles of middle-class moms. But her journey to fame wasn't smooth. For years, she struggled to find acting work and took odd jobs to survive. She even worked as a copy clerk at People magazine in New York City while chasing her dream. It wasn't until she was 31 that she made her Broadway debut in the chorus of Don't Get God Started. Success didn't come quickly, but at 38, she finally got her big break with Everybody Loves Raymond, which made her a household name.
You know, sitting in my backyard trying to save 50 cents on 2 packs of ballpark franks.
Later, Patricia surprised many by being open about her plastic surgery. In 2002, when she was at the peak of her career, she admitted to having a breast augmentation and a tummy tuck. She explained that after 4 C-sections and gaining a lot of weight during pregnancy, her body had gone through significant changes. She shared these details with humor, joking about loose skin under her chin, which made her honesty even more relatable. Women admired her for being so upfront about a topic many avoided discussing at the time. Years later, in 2010, she revealed she had more work done, including surgery on her eyes. She shared her thoughts about how fortunate people are to have options to improve their appearance, but warned that these procedures could become addictive. Britney Spears. Britney Spears became an international pop sensation in the late 1990s.
So I was just a mama's girl. I loved food. My dad owns a restaurant.
Her first hit, Baby One More Time, turned her into a superstar almost overnight. Fans loved her catchy songs, amazing dance moves, and her relatable image. By the time she reached her 20s, she had already sold tens of millions of albums, becoming one of the best-selling teenage artists in history. But with all that fame came constant attention to how she looked. Every little change in her appearance became a topic for the media and fans. In 2007, Britney went through a highly publicized breakdown, which also brought speculation about plastic surgery. Some thought her face looked noticeably different during this time, but Britney didn't confirm or deny the rumors. A few years later, in 2014, she mentioned in an interview that she had tried lip fillers, calling it fun stuff her doctor sometimes did for her. Fans and experts started guessing about other possible procedures. One surgeon speculated that she might have had a nose job when she was still a teenager, pointing out subtle differences in photos from that time. There was also a lot of talk about her breasts. Britney's mother wrote in her memoir that Britney had breast implants as a teenager, but later had them removed when her body naturally developed. This revelation caused a lot of debate about whether it was right for young stars to face that kind of pressure. Over the years, Britney's look has changed, sometimes dramatically. Her nose, for example, seemed to look different at various points, which led to more guesses about multiple rhinoplasties or non-surgical changes. Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian started as Paris Hilton's friend and stylist.
It's just really what I do. And I try to think like, okay, I have to get better at this. Or one of my things is I was like, I used to care so much about
gaining small public attention in the early 2000s. Everything changed after a leaked tape with her boyfriend, Ray J, in 2007. What seemed like a career-ending moment became the beginning of her rise. Soon after, she and her family launched Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The show became a hit and ran for 20 seasons over 14 years, making the Kardashian-Jenner family household names and giving them a platform to build their empire. Over time, Kim's look changed drastically.
It was such a secret. I didn't tell my sisters, I didn't tell anyone. My mom knew because we had to use parts of her home.
Before fame, she looked very different. Reports suggest her first major change was a nose job, subtly reshaping her face. But the most noticeable changes were in her body, particularly her figure. She publicly denied having any implants and even showed an X-ray on her reality show to prove it. Despite this, speculation about procedures like a Brazilian butt lift continued as her curves became more dramatic. This led to a massive increase in BBL surgeries worldwide, with a rise of over 250% between 2000 and 2015. However, the surgery is considered dangerous, with a high risk of complications. Kim has been open about some procedures, like using Botox and laser treatments, but denies others. In interviews, she has claimed she hasn't had fillers or extensions, which has fueled debates about what's real and what isn't. Regardless of the truth, her influence on beauty standards is undeniable. Her look inspired trends around the world, changing how people define beauty. Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston's story is different, but just as inspiring.
So excited to meet him, and then he'd been sort of watching Friends, and we both had this moment. It was adorable.
In the early years, she struggled with rejection and considered giving up acting. Everything changed when she got the role of Rachel Green on Friends. This role made her one of the most loved actresses in Hollywood, and she became a symbol of charm and relatability. Over the years, Jennifer has kept her look natural and timeless, avoiding dramatic changes. She has admitted to having 2 nose surgeries, one in her 20s to fix a medical issue, and another later to correct mistakes from the first surgery. She tried Botox once, but said it wasn't for her. preferring to age gracefully.
And I fell in love with it. We both had so much fun. We had like three lessons before we sang this, and then we recorded it.
Her ability to maintain a youthful appearance without extreme changes has set her apart and kept fans curious about her secrets. Jennifer doesn't just rely on surgeries or treatments. She invests heavily in her skincare and wellness. She spends a significant amount on high-end beauty products, facials, and yoga. These habits have helped her maintain her look and continue to land leading roles in her 50s. In the morning show, she gave a performance that earned her a major award, proving that age hasn't slowed her down.